Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Cindy Walter, and I have with me Dr. D, Dr. Dixie Short, and I am so excited to share her with all of you guys today. I'm going to read a quick bio on her, but then I'm going to ask her to share her story with you guys so you can hear a little bit about her journey, and I'm going to ask her some questions all related on hormonal health and all natural remedies and solutions because so many people are feeling lost without hope. And our goal today is to give you much, much hope. All right, so Dr. Dixie is a DNM with a PhD in natural medicine. She is dedicated to helping people establish healthy habits to create a naturally healthy, joyful way of living. She believes that by focusing on nutrition, we can rebuild our bodies from within. Dr. D first got started in natural medicine when traditional medicine failed not only her, but her loved ones as well. She was tired of feeling helpless in dealing with her health and watching her loved ones struggle with their own. Dr. D specializes in entrepreneurs with fast paced lives that are looking to improve their health naturally and increase their productivity throughout the day. She is most excited about creating programs that establish natural and easy lifestyle habits that are guaranteed to help clients achieve their health goals. If you are ready to build the life you have been dreaming of, I'm going to give you all of her information at the end of our program today. So, welcome, Dr. D.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Oh,
so excited.
so excited to have you. And we were chatting before, and I didn't want to give her my whole story before we were filming live, but I'll share with you what happened with me was I'm 52 and I had a year of hormonal health challenges that ended up in a frightening way. I started having, we thought, mini strokes. I started slurring my speech and I had a few episodes that were really, really frightening. And I went through all kinds of tests to find that my brain was fine, my heart was fine, nothing was wrong with me. Well, what on earth caused these crazy episodes? And I was seeing a couple different doctors. I had some severe bleeding, lost a lot of blood, ended up in the ER a couple times, and ended up that we were going to be doing and facing a total hysterectomy. And I didn't want to do that. I got put on birth control at 52, and I didn't want to do that. And we were putting medications in my bodies to stop the symptoms, band-aiding things. And I'd already been on my health journey using our, eating clean and using our nutritional products that my company provides for almost 9 years. So I knew better. My oldest daughter is a big yogi, and she's in school to be a yoga therapist now. And she was like, "Mom, I want you to see an all natural doctor." And I'd already seen an all natural bioidentical hormonal doctor, and then I had my OBGYN, and then I sought out a third party, and I ended up changing my diet dramatically, going completely plant-based, lowering really working on lowering the estrogen in my body, but tackling stress and cortisol, which I know are big topics for you. And knock on wood, I am feeling really great. I lost some body inflammation that I put on some weight, and I'm feeling great, and I'm not facing surgery any longer, and I'm doing so much better. But I did one post, Dr. D, and I put it on social media, and I shared my story, and never ever have I had a post blow up like this one did. And the comments were unbelievable, but I was crying over so many of them. Women that reached out to me privately saying, "Thank you for sharing your story. It sounds like you're speaking my story, and I feel like I have absolutely no hope, and you're giving me hope that there are answers." And why I was so excited to talk to you is because I know this is your life's work and what you do, and I really want you to just give hope to people that there is another way. I think so many people feel desperate that there's nothing that's going to heal them, and they just don't understand that so many of us go through issues like this, and there are other solutions. So with that being said, that's why I was so excited to get you on with us today. And I'd like to just start with, how did you get into hormonal health, and why are you so passionate about this, before I start really asking you too many questions?
Right to the heart of it. I'm good. So I originally was going to school for traditional medicine, and during med school, I got really, really sick to the point where I honestly thought I was dying. And I kept going to the doctors. It was literally, I think, 2, maybe 3 years where I was going pretty steadily, like once every other week. And I got every time I saw my doctor, I got at least 6 prescriptions. And I ended up at the end, I was telling you before, with this huge grocery bag full of pills. And my family, most of us are in like the medical or health and wellness field. So a lot of them were like, "What are you taking?" And I was like, "I don't even know anymore. I just want to get better." So I was just trusting my doctor. Well, my string of doctors. Unfortunately, mass majority of my medications I was on, they were all contradicting each other. So I was taking an upper and a downer and an anticoagulant with a coagulant. So I was like, kind of defeats the purpose. And you're basically just throwing money into a hole. So, in like basically a desperate attempt, it was actually someone had mentioned it as a joke. I went to an acupuncturist, and uh, it was one of those moments where you're like, everything opens. But at the same time, I was so disappointed because it actually worked. I know it sounds weird to be disappointed that something worked, but at this point, I had invested so many years in school and I was so close to being done. And to have someone be like, "Ooh, you know, everything you just learned that you've been spending decades learning? Yeah, it's totally wrong. Start from scratch." And I was like, "Ah." But at least I knew like the answer. So I was pretty excited about that. About 30 days worth of just changing my diet alone, like my nutrition. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I was already feeling better. I couldn't go beforehand like 5 minutes without throwing up. And I had so many issues. Like lived, I was driving to and from work, and I would literally put in a 2 hour window just to drive the 15 minutes to work because I knew I'd have to pull over and vomit just to get there and back. And after 30 days, I was so much better. I mean, I felt so much better and I looked so much better. And it turned out the mass majority of what was going on with me was I was eating all these foods and I was dealing with a lot of stress because my mom was going through a lot of health issues at the same time. And a lot of my other family members were suffering from health issues. Most of us don't realize how many things that we're exposed to on a daily basis that actually integrate into our diet, into our system, things that we like just absorb from touching, like cleaning products. Most of them are super high in estrogen. So you don't realize all of the chemicals you're being exposed to, whether you know it or not. Like you could eat so crazy healthy and still be overridden with all of these chemicals, and the importance of detoxing regularly. And it's not like a juice cleanse detox. It's literally just adjusting your body to the new season. So you're basically just flushing everything out and cleaning the stocks so that you can set up shop for the new season.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest game changer moment. And when I saw there was hope, I was that person that was like, "Oh my God, you can't just like keep it hidden and be like, good luck to everybody else. Took me 30 some odd years. Hope it doesn't take you as long." But I wanted to be able to give that information out. So the mass majority of what I do is just educating. So I'm all about, like, I've had clients who will ask me, "What do I have right now that I can use?" And I have no joke had a client take their computer out to their backyard with me and we found chickweed for her hemorrhoids type deal. So you'd be surprised what you already have access to that you can totally use to kind of fix whatever's going on with your body.
So tell me then, when did you decide to shift gears in school, and
Oh,
did it add years more to your schooling?
yeah, years.
Oh gosh.
And telling my parents, "Hey, you know how I'm like only maybe like a couple semesters away from being finished?" I'm going to start a whole new thing from scratch. Was like, I could actually hear their hearts just shatter. I'm like, I'm going to go into natural medicine. My stepdad is a veterinarian and he's like, that's not real medicine. He's like, that's not a real doctor. That's not a real profession. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And he's like, oh, you're so close to being done. Why don't you just finish? And then you can play with that later. It's like, no. So
And
that was like the game changing moment, that one acupuncture visit. And then was hooked.
and I just did that yesterday. As a matter of fact, I just went to an acupuncturist yesterday for the second time, and but I would consider myself open. I am willing to try different things. I read a book and I researched bioidentical hormones because I wanted to get off of regular medication, and I did that, and it worked for a few years, and then it stopped working. And then I needed to look into other things. So I'm what I would consider open. If I know, like, and trust you and you give me good advice, I will follow it and try it. I research it myself, of course, but I'll try it. But some people are a little more closed. Now, anyone that's watching this, I'm sure, is very open. But let's go ahead and talk, hormonal health. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I was sharing with you, I was so surprised at that post that I did because so many people are in premenopause for a long, long time struggling. Then we've got the menopause, then we've got postmenopause, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And I know men have issues as well. But I work primarily with women, and most women are the ones that reach out to me asking for help. And I'm not an expert in this. I just send them to things that I've read or listened to that were helpful to me, and that's why I was so excited to share you with everyone today. So I would just love to hear um, some ideas on what people can do to change their situation, and feel like there is hope for them, people that are struggling.
So, first and foremost, there is always hope no matter what has gone on. Everything can get fixed and go back to a new norm. It's probably not going to go back to the one that you remember, but that's okay. We can build something entirely new and totally better. When it comes to hormones, almost every single one is like a very kumbaya situation. You cannot touch one without affecting another. So, when it comes to your hormone imbalance, most commonly I get approached for people who suffer from high levels of cortisol, either excess or not enough estrogen. So that kind of varies. I also get a lot of people who have low progesterone. For those of you who are like premenopausal or menopausal or postmenopausal, all of those women are taught to like focus on your estrogen. Your estrogen is the number one thing that drops. It is not. Your estrogen does go down, but nowhere near as dramatically as your progesterone levels. Your progesterone levels also are those little buggers that are causing you to have like early aging, all of like the gray hair, any type of issue with like wrinkles being more prominent. You can also get hot flashes. That's all progesterone land. Your metabolism also takes like a screeching stop with progesterone. So that's that little bugger that nobody really keeps feeding into. And we're also fixated on like, how do I balance out my estrogen levels? And you forget, hi, progesterone's the one that's actually the one like knocking over all the cups and pushing over all the baskets. He's probably the one you should take care of first because it's the largest drop. But there's definitely some things that you can do at home that are really easy. The first thing I tell my clients is nutrition. Your nutrition is an absolute game changer. And if you don't believe me, give me 30 days and I guarantee you'll see a difference. See, feel, you'll know that something's gone different. And there are different foods that are actually going to be more advantageous for you based off of whichever hormone is kind of off kilter. I did put together some quizzes for you guys if you want, so that you can kind of figure out if you're at risk to have like low progesterone levels, if you're at risk for high estrogen or low estrogen, or any type of imbalance. So I'll give Cindy the links to all of those quizzes so that you guys can kind of take them and figure out where you're going. And then that kind of helps narrow down the different foods that are going to be ideal for you. There are some overall balancing hormone hitters that I swear by. So sweet potatoes, food wise, is an absolute must. Any cruciferous vegetables, so that's like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, things that are like more in that variety. And those are one, high in protein. So, yay, you. It's like 9 grams of protein per serving for broccoli. And it also helps balance out your hormones. It's also really high in fiber, and almost everything that is going to be super good for balancing out your hormones. Typically speaking, it's high in fiber because part of your body's natural ability to balance itself out all coincides with your process of elimination. So if you are not pushing those excesses out, your body just holds on to it, and then it kind of will mutate because you're breaking things down, and they break down even further, and now they're a whole nother beast. And then you get these lovely little like outshoots of issues that pop up. And you can actually, there's lovely little signs and symptoms all over you, whether you know it or not. It's actually one of my favorite games to play with people. Is like, I'll have them show me their tongue, because your tongue actually tells you so much more than you will ever want to know. Like, I'm going to show you my tongue, guys. This is going to get personal. Get ready. Okay, let me get closer. So you can see I have a really dark indent, like a line that's really prominent down the center. And that is because I've been having lower back pain. I started a new workout routine, and I'm feeling it, and my body is now showing that. I also have ridges on the sides of my tongue. So right here, where you can see teeth indents, that indicates that I'm not absorbing my nutrients well enough. So I definitely need to increase my hydrochloric acid supplement, because I know personally I suffer from the inability to break down fats and proteins. So that means that I have a lower stomach acid. You can also see that in my nails, because they are very, like, I would say pliable, because you can like fold them. So they're relatively thin. That typically indicates a low stomach acid. And you can do things naturally to kind of help balance out your stomach acid. So, things that you can do would be to either increase a hydrochloric acid supplement. Those are really difficult to find, especially with getting the proper quality. Other suggestions: you can do citrus fruit. So easy. And then, I mean, most of us have access to citrus fruit. Perfect. It also is great for helping, keep you motivated and energized. It helps naturally lower your stress levels. And it also helps with weight loss. So, if you are like the mass majority of us who have gained weight during COVID, no matter what your amazing routines were, that's typically because you've been holding on to an excess of stress. Stress automatically, like cortisol's number one game is to stack in your weight. Like, its job is to keep stores of energy just in case you had a predator show up and you need to like have an energy source to run. And when cortisol, it also kind of activates a bunch of other hormones. So you'll notice that if cortisol goes up, you'll see a bunch of other hormones get kind of out of whack. So, most typically speaking, the ones that are affected with cortisol, especially when it comes to weight, are estrogen. So you'll get estrogen dominance, which is really common. So you'll notice people who are overweight, they have typically either developed a leptin resistance. Leptin is a hormone that tells your body, okay, I'm satisfied. We're good. I don't need any more food. And most of the time, that trigger has become immune, and it's just constantly like, I need more. I want it all type deal. And that can easily lead to or be a precursor or even a byproduct of estrogen dominance. Typically speaking, people who are estrogen dominant will have lower levels of testosterone because one's obviously running the show. That's typically how it works for boys and girls. We all have estrogen and testosterone. Sorry, men, if you're paying attention, you've got it too. So like, you'll want to check yourself to see if you are in that variety of high estrogen levels. Things that you can look for, like there's different signs and symptoms to look out for to see if you have high estrogen. Typically speaking, weight gain is most common. Um, if you have high testosterone levels, which would indicate low estrogen levels, you'll also see things like facial hair pop up. And well, the gentleman might like it. We women don't. So that's a pretty good indicator. Normally you'll get it around like your neck and chin area, same as guys. Hi. You'll also notice like your skin will break out, and they break out in specific reasons and areas for a specific reason. So anytime you break out, map it. If it is down around your chin, this is typically hormonal. Anything along like the jaw and right next to your neck, that's hormonal. So if you're like, I only break out and it's only during that time of the month, that's typically common. So don't freak out. If it is around like your nose, like right here on your nose, that can indicate a heart issue or a circulatory issue. So you want to take really, really good caution with that section. Most of us break out on our cheeks from either dirty pillowcases, dirty phones. Other issues would be like poor diet. That's pretty common because your stomach is like right around here. Your kidney and liver are about here. So if you break out around your eyes, something is typically going on with your kidney and liver. And you can actually look for like the dark circles under your eyes. If you are someone like me who gets dark circles, it means you need to live a little more nicely for your kidneys and liver. Your liver is doing too much work. So either you're eating too much fat, or you are like coming into contact with too many chemicals or anything like that, and you just need to kind of cleanse out your liver, which you can totally do naturally. Again, most commonly, like the easiest way to do it would be to eat super high fiber foods. Make sure you're doing a lot of hydration. I typically will put in like a essential oil regimen for clients, or we'll talk about specific foods that they can incorporate in. Uh, Other things that can help kind of balance out would be like, it's the simplest thing in the world. Are you ready? It's lemon water. And for those of you like, ooh, it's too acidic for me, don't worry. Do like lime water, or you can do orange water, would be like the lowest level. I really like the grapefruit water. So I'm not saying you should like put 2 tablespoons of grapefruit juice. It's like literally you just need a little bit, a little dab will do you. Like maybe half a teaspoon and you're good to go with like room temperature water. That way you're not shocking your digestive system or anything crazy. And that will actually help naturally balance out your body's pH. And spoiler alert, it also, for those of you who take vitamins, it increases your absorption rate. I have not taken my vitamins this morning, so you can see that. But those are things that you can naturally do right now. You don't need to go out and buy anything crazy. It's stuff that you should already have ready and in your cabinets. And then there's a bunch of other things you can do. It's going to be more specific based off of what's going on with you. The more you know about what's going on with you, the better you can kind of create a game plan for it. I love creating game plans. So if you want some help, you are more than welcome to shoot me an email or just message me. That's totally fine too. I also have created a hormone balancing program that's about 9 weeks. I added in some weeks to do like a gentle detox for you guys as well. And I'm going to give away for Cindy, I'm going to give away 25 seats for free. Normally I charge like a couple $1,000s. I actually have dropped it down because of COVID because I don't like to gouge people. And I know this is something everybody has been asking me for. So I dropped down to, I think right now the sell price is 497. So get in the first 25. I may have put in a couple of extra just because I don't want you to be that 26th person and be like, why? So
Great. That's great. Well, I love all the things that we can do from home, and
Mhm.
all the things that you've said I'm doing. I absolutely have learned many of those things. I love your take on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and like that. A lot of people are for it, some are against it. Where do you fall on that?
So I think every case is a little bit different. I am a firm believer in starting with like the nutrient first because Mother Nature does it better than anybody else. I mean, it's literally a grand design for sure. So I try to use what's already naturally available and have that kind of corporate with a way to balance things out.
Yeah.
Then from like after we get nutrition in order, I'll suggest doing supplements because I mean, I might be able to eat 5 pounds of broccoli a week, but most people are like, that's a bit much. So there are different supplements they can do, like a dim supplement, and that will bypass the need to like live off of broccoli alone.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so let's just chat about other things to eliminate stress, because two of the things that I've always taught, like I'm all about nutrition, eating properly. With our isogenics products, we offer think for people that don't like to do a whole ton of cooking and prepping and all of that. I mean, we really encourage all the fresh vegetables and fruits and all the things that you were talking about. Absolutely. And I've gone completely plant-based, which was I did it
Oh,
slowly
for
over a long
sure.
period of time, but not everybody's ready to do that either. So it's like I just try to help people, kind of meet them where they're at, is what I say, and help them on their journey. And I have people that do want to go more plant-based. So, I've just kind of expressed starting very slowly by adding all the things you just said into the diet. And I told you I was reading the Eat for Life
Mhm.
plan, and he talks a lot about all the vegetables you just said, and making that a big part of your diet. And he does mention in there that not everybody's ready to get meat out of their diet or fish out of their diet. So I feel like you just have to start seeing how your body does and how it feels, and you'll know if something's going to work for you or not. Like you said, probably in about 30 days you'll start to feel differently if it's working, and you can always add supplementation. And I do all of that, but we also teach, of course, on top of eating clean, cleaning up your environment, like you said, with cleaning products. And even like I use clean makeup and clean hair products, and I do have an oil regimen, and all of these things that we can do to try cleaning things up, but also lowering stress and also sleep. How big are those, and what can
Right.
you recommend to help people with better sleep and lower stress?
Oh, for sure. Those are like honestly, my sister, my eldest sister Tawny, she is another doctor of natural medicine. She's finishing up her PhD and she specializes just in sleep. So we talk about sleep like it's going out of style. Sleep is one of those things where if you're not getting enough, you are throwing everything out of sync. If you find that you're constantly craving high calorie foods, it's because you didn't get enough sleep. Typically speaking, your body is very shark based and it's going to go for whatever is going to give it that energy it needs to keep going. That's why, just like sharks, we go high calorie when we're in that sleep deprivation mode. Things that you can do. So, food wise, melatonin is one of those. I, it's a hormone, and it is one of the things that you can only find in one food, and it is cherries. So if you're like, "Ew, mom personally hates cherries," don't worry. grab foods that are high in tryptophan. Your body will naturally take those tryptophan foods and convert it into melatonin. When I say tryptophan, people are like, "Ugh." Don't worry. That means chocolate, no harm lost, right? Dark chocolate, walnuts, cashews, those are all high in tryptophan, bananas. So I have a client who has Parkinson's and he is a total sweet tooth junkie. And we were creating an entire all natural, healthy routine of like, I think we did like at least 40 different flavors of ice cream so that he can incorporate his sweet tooth and still have like health benefits that come from it. And chunky monkey ice cream, especially if you're doing the nice cream. So try to avoid dairy. Most people have an inflammatory response to it. So I would do, you can create your own chunky monkey version that's vegan. And all you're doing is like swapping out coconut milk instead of regular milk. It's not that big of a deal, but you have to do the whole fat and it's amazing. Like mom's addicted to it. But that gives you all of the tryptophans and you are going to feel amazing and it should help you sleep as well. There are some meditation routines that you can do. I strongly advise meditation to all my clients because it's one of those things that if you do it even 5 minutes a day consistently for 30 days, you actually rewire your brain to focus on more positive outcomes and you'll naturally have lower stress. So, those are definitely things that anyone can do. There are different plants that you can put in. Most of us have issues where we can't sleep because the air in our room isn't as clean as we think it is. So, snake plants are one of those that you can put into your room that actually helps purify the air. Lily of the valley. You could also do, I know, aloe and snake grass, or not snake grass, horse grass. Those are all ones that you could do to help kind of like purify your air while you sleep. Other things I do personally, I diffuse different essential oils. You can also do, I do like an actual yoga stretching routine right before bed. It helps a lot, especially when I'm doing high workout days. I have a lot of lactic acid that builds up in my muscles, and that is a great way to kind of like release all of that tension. But I think personally, my biggest like help for my sleep patterns is to totally do meditation right before bed. And I also take melatonin. So I don't get enough cherries.
And I like cherries. I've not heard that
I
one, so
love cherries.
that's news for me. So that's great. And those of you that are already using the Isogenics products, we do have a wonderful melatonin sleep spray. We do have a product that helps with detoxifying if you have yucky stuff in your environment, and we all do. But so much of this can be done through food and nutrition and diet and all of that. And I love it. And I could sit here for hours with you. But we are coming upon the end of our time together. Share with everyone, you've been so generous with the programs that you're going to be giving away and all of that. And I will give you guys all of Dr. D's contact information. So you're welcome to follow up with her and follow her. I know she's written great blogs. She's all over social media. You guys, you'll love to follow her. She's amazing. So what I'd love for you to share in closing is, maybe a few more words of hope for everyone, and then how they can find you.
Oh, sure. So I have never come across someone who is just unhelped. Like there's no hope for them whatsoever. As long as you are willing to do something, literally anything, even like a tiny little thing one day, every day, you are going to have a better outcome. And I know how many people there are in this world that are always there to help, even like listening to a podcast. I know my mom's got a podcast. I'm gonna plug her. It's called Oh My Health There's Hope. Crazy concept, right?
Love that.
But all it is talking about stories of hope. And sometimes it really helps to have other people share their stories, and so that you can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And we all go through just awful dark times, and most of us don't see that, especially when someone's like at the end of the light of the tunnel. We focus on how great they're doing now, and we forget that they've had to go through such a horrible ordeal to get that outcome. And you could be that amazing story for someone else in the future. So just know that there's always something you can do, and you are not alone. There are so many things out there that you can try. And please note that everybody's different. So you are going to have to try multiple things because you are unique, and that is amazing. And everything should be customized to fit you specifically, because there is no other one like you. So just, I mean, take every day like one day at a time, and just enjoy the little wins, because sometimes that's all you get in that day. So just drink it in. And the more you get that focus on all of the positive that you're getting, I'm telling you, that's what generates more positivity coming into your next day. So it's like one of my routines is I focus on at least three things I'm grateful for at night, and it helps generate more in the morning.
Mhm.
And if you would like, I would be more than happy to help you. You can either go to my website, askdrd.com. I'm on pretty much every social media platform at AskDrDDNM. So it's all the same handle. You can stalk me anywhere. Feel free.
And
I'm
I'll
happy
actually give
to.
you guys links that you can click on and find her in the notes underneath this recording. So I'm just so grateful for your time today. And it's so funny. I've talked to your mom about you so many times for a couple of years now, and it was just so great to meet you. We do just I think so much like you. And it's just so refreshing. And I think, people just need to know that there is hope. And that's why I've loved your mom's podcast. She's interviewed some amazing people on there. And yeah, I want everyone to know that you don't have to just take one person's opinion, one doctor's opinion. You can get a second opinion, a third opinion, and you need to be your own best advocate for
Advocate.
your health. Yeah.
Many people don't realize that you have a choice. I've had clients tell me these stories where they're like, I had to kidnap my child from a hospital. I'm like, it's your child. You can leave whenever you want. And if you don't want to do a surgery or a medical procedure, you don't have to. They have forms that you can sign, and you can just leave.
Hmm.
You get to decide what happens with your body and how you basically choose to live.
Hmm.
That's all on you.
And this book that I'm reading, it talks about how diseases can even be reversed if you through proper nutrition and taking care of yourself, and like you said, lowering your stress and your cortisol levels and all of that. It just all comes together, and you can live longer, you can prevent disease, and you can even reverse some things that are going wrong, like I've just gone through myself, through diet and really doing things differently. And so thank you so much for your time, for sharing. Oh, it was just wonderful. I wish we had a lot more time together, but I will let all of you know how to reach Dr. D and how to follow up. And thank you so much.
Thank you. So much fun.